Hi, it's Romella and welcome to Friday. So today we're going to do a little something different, I thought. So if you saw the post earlier in the week, we're going to look at favourite books. So come and share your favourite book titles so we can all perhaps get inspired. So I'm going to make the book club, so to speak, a bit more of a, well, it's going to be a regular thing. It's probably going to be every Friday. So what we're going to do is this week I am going to share some of my favourite books with you, and I'd love, hi Genevieve, morning to you. That's thrown me completely. Yeah, I'm going to share some of my favourite books. If you've got any books that you're really enjoying that are, spiritual or supportive or calming in any way, please pop them in the chat so that we can all have a look and maybe check them out as well. So I've got, so I'm going to do that. First of all, let's do card of the day. So I'm going to still use these gosh, language is gone this morning. Archangel Oracle cards. So just give them a quick tap, knock out yesterday's energy, give them a little shuffle. What do we need to know today? One more shuffle and it'll be the top card. There we go. We have a relationship harmony. And it's Archangel Raphael saying, we angels are opening the hearts of everyone involved. Arguments and conflicts are being resolved now. So this is a really interesting card. Now, if you watched the Women's Circle one on Wednesday, I spoke a lot about the planets that have gone retrograde and how they are all, or mostly all, linking in to issues around relationships. And according to Elizabeth Peru, she talks about the relationships and issues that were happening back in 2018, the end of 2018, which must be the last time, I think it's Saturn went retrograde, are coming up again now. So if also, with the relationships harmony, again, we're all locked in the same house. There's nowhere to go apart from our allowed walk. So, relationships do get very fraught. And also, I think it's important to remember that the energies at the moment and the fear that's around everything can very often put a pressure on things that are absolutely fine. And when issues come up, it's not necessarily about the issue. It's just that thing that's just tipped you over the edge. So the message around this is to keep things in perspective, keep things harmonious. I like to ask, is this mine? If I've got an energy that's coming up or an emotion coming up that I'm not happy with, that's a bit sort of, maybe it's fearful, like there was a lot of heart energy going on a couple of days ago. Is this mine? And if it's not, angels, I thank you for bringing it to my attention, and please let it go. So, hi Kieran, lovely to see you. So yeah, ask yourself that question. I always place my hand on the heart and say, angels, is this my energy? And if it's not, please remove it, because I'm thank you for bringing it to my awareness, but I don't need to feel it. And as a sensitive person, as an empath, it's really important to get to know what is your energy and what isn't your energy, particularly when, like I say, when you're living in the same house and you're not even going to get out to go on the school run or to go to work or to go shopping, or we're so limited on in this lockdown as our external routes of individualization, shall I say. And this is something I really need. I need time for me. And between everything else that's been going on, from home learning to looking after the cat who's going in and out all the time, I haven't been putting my self-care in place. And I'm an introvert, I need time alone. And if I don't get time alone, then I recognise that I get it tips me over and my emotions go, shall we say. So I need to build that into my time, into my day. So that's what I do. And again, that's really what this little session here is about, because this actually is this is me walking my talk, this is me being present, and this is me time. Even though I'm with you guys, it's different. It's not with everyone else in the family. So recognise that around relationships, is that recognise what your boundaries around yourself are for your own self-care. And by self-care, I can just mean time alone for you. So even if that means like doing the washing up, if that's time alone for you, put some lovely music on, listen to an inspiring YouTube talk, or one of the Audible books, or one of the YouTube authors that we're going to look at later, and just create those pockets of you-ness, because that will support you and bring you harmony. And when you're in harmony and balance, that is then mirrored by everything around you, and that's really important. So the relationships, yes, they can be becoming a little bit tense at moments, but actually what's inside us is what is reflected back to us by other people as well. So bear that in mind and look after yourself, do things to support your own self-care, because that will benefit those around you as well. So that ripple effect that I spoke about way back when we first started doing these. So that is the card of the day. Relationship harmony with Archangel Raguel. We angels are opening the hearts of everyone involved. Arguments and conflicts are being resolved now. So that is the message for that one. So I hope you're all well. So today what I thought we would do is, like I said, share our favourite spiritual books. If you've got them handy, that's great. Or just pop the title in so we can just share and talk about them. And I've got some of my books, because I didn't know if people were going to turn up or not. So I've bought some of my books that are sort of go-to books, or books that I started with. So we'll do that today. Next Friday, we're going to have a Law of Attraction one. So no particular book, but whatever your favourite Law of Attraction book is, or your go-to author, or your go-to person that you follow on social media. There's lots of them around. You've got Sarah Prout, you've got the Cosmic Kitchen, you've obviously got The Secret and the additional ones. You've got Esther Hicks and Abraham as well. So there's lots of amazing authors out there, and they're just the ones that off the top of my head. I know there's lots of other really good really good books around prosperity and that law of attraction and getting it to work. So that's what we're going to talk about next week. So just have a think about who you like to follow, what you like about them. And I've got all these names just popping into my head. It's like a download. I think I can't know. Anita Brajani, I think, is one of them as well. She keeps popping in my head, but I can't pronounce her surname. I'm not hearing it correctly. So if you've got a favourite book, please share with me. So these are some of the books that I've just brought with me downstairs. These are all my go-to books. So let me start with this one. This is called The Crystal Bible. This was probably one of the first books I bought when I did Reiki 2. Reiki 2, I think we looked at crystals, and I went home and I was so inspired. And this is going back almost 20 years ago. So the internet wasn't what it was. You couldn't just go on Amazon and order crystals. It was quite a tricky thing to find crystals on an online platform at the time, because there just wasn't anything there, and there wasn't really that many shops around that actually did them back then either. But this book was literally the Bible. This was my one, and is my absolute go-to, The Crystal Bible by Judy Hall. If you're interested in crystals, this is the one to get, because it is awesome. So each book has got a really good directory in it. It gives you pictures of the tumbled and the raw, so again you can help identify them. Tells you where they come from. It tells you the attributes and the healing and how to use it. It's also got a lot of information at the beginning about how crystals are formed, which is awesome. It's a bit like a geography lesson. I'll do that with my kids later maybe. Different crystals, crystal healing, so wands. I think there's looking after your crystals as well. So it just covers so much. There's a crystal meditation too. It is just an absolute awesome book for a beginner, but also advanced. I find this one really good. She has since written 3 other ones, so we're each with additional new crystals that are coming out that obviously weren't in this Bible at the original time. It's about, it says UK £13. I think it's probably actually about £7 or £8 on Amazon. She does one as well. So Judy Hall is just the crystal lady as far as I'm concerned. She has one I bought a while ago that had actually crystals. It's a blue cover, and I think it might have been crystal healing with crystals, and it actually had 7 or 8 crystals with it as well. So that was an awesome one, but I haven't seen that for a while on Amazon, because I know I looked a little while ago when I ran a crystal course. So that is Crystal Bible. If you like crystals or just want to know a little bit more about how to use them, bit of an intrigue, the Crystal Bible by Judy Hall is the one for you. Like, again, she writes, she's got so many different books out there. So have a look on Amazon and just see. But definitely, if you're interested in crystals, start with this one, the Crystal Bible, and then look at the other ones. You know, she's got a book on crystals for self-protection. I think there's probably one for crystals and prosperity. So there's lots of different angles that she takes it from. But this one is absolutely my go-to. It's really old, but actually it's in pristine condition, even though it's used all the time. So that's the number one, is Crystal Bible. So hi Samantha, nice to see you. Hi Cecile, nice to see you this morning. So another book I'm going to share is this one. It's Adoring Virtue. Now, Adoring Virtue's gone a bit off the grid, shall we say. I'm not going to go into that, but she isn't just doing what she has been doing for the last. I think she's been out of it for about 4 or 5 years now. So yeah, I'm not going to go into it. But the energy she had when she wrote the books, and a lot of the crystal the oracle decks are hers as well, and I still love them because the energy that they were created with at the time was perfect. So this book is great. It's called Archangels and Ascended Masters, A Guide to Working and Healing with Divinities and Deities. Now this book, I'm not sure it's available, it's in print anymore. I dare say Carl Gray will be doing a version of it, or not a version of it, but one with the same title and content, shall we say. I would be my interpretation. But you can get them secondhand, so you might be able to get them secondhand on Amazon. Also abebooks.co.uk, so abebooks.co.uk. That's one that I've had quite a few books that I go and search on there first, and you can often get them cheap as well. This one I love. This one comes to every women's circle with me because it has got a whole host of all the archangels, who they are, and how you can work with them. So for example, we've got, who did we just have? We had Raguel, didn't we? Archangel Raguel, so relationship harmony. His name means friend of God. His role is to oversee all the archangels and angels, all working together in a harmonious and orderly fashion. So actually, he might be good for watching over the family and getting everybody in order. Helps with arguments, cooperation and harmony in groups and families. There we go. Defending the unfairly treated, empowerment, especially for the underdogs, and mediation of disputes and orderliness. And there's a little invocation there. So this is great because when people pull a card from a deck like this, or from Ascended Masters deck, you can then look up who they are. So they've got loads of archangels, and it's also got lots and lots of Ascended Masters in the back as well. So we've got, where's it gone? Here's Kuan Yin. So we've got Kuan Yin here. So Kuan Yin, if you follow Diana Cooper on her meditation, she did a lovely Kuan Yin meditation a while, but Kuan Yin is a spiritually and physically a beautiful Chinese goddess of mercy and compassion and protection. Her name means she who hears prayers. So she hears and answers every prayer that's sent her way. So it gives you information about that, and she says that what Kuan Yin works for. So she works with clairvoyance, compassion, feminine grace, beauty and power, kindness, gentleness, sweetness towards the self and others, love, receiving and giving, and mercy. Developing musical abilities, protection, especially for women and children, and spiritual enlightenment gifts. And there's a little prayer that you can use to call her and work her. So that's a really good book just to get to know the angels, the archangels and the Ascended Masters in more detail. If you ever come across one, if you want to know more, and you can't find the book and you want to know a bit more, drop me a message at any time, and I'll take a photo of the pages and I can send them to you of that particular guide, if that helps. Oh, I'm doing a lot of talking now. So if you've got your favourite spiritual books, please pop them in and we'll have a chat about them. Now this one is Reiki, Essential Reiki, and it is by Diane Stein. And I love the books that she writes. Again, I've probably got about 3 or 4 of hers. But this one is one that I use a lot when I'm actually teaching Reiki. It's Usui Reiki. So it talks about goes through the different levels. It's got really, really good images of the Reiki symbols. Again, when I was learning Reiki about 20 years ago, the teachers showed us how to draw it. It wasn't in books, and literally it would be drawn and it would be taken away. You'd have to just learn and memorize it. So it wasn't in the manuals. Like when I give them now, I use these because the symbols are exactly the same as the ones that I learned. But as I say, when I was learning Reiki, they weren't actually in the manual. So what she gave me, I went away with a piece of paper that had my version of the symbol in it and how I drew it. Which, when you've got some of the more complicated, like the Honsha Sei Shonen, just for accuracy, I tend to use these ones because the shape is the same as I was attuned to. So this one I love for that reason. It's got lots of really good information about energy. It's got lots of energy information about the body as well. So group healing. It's got the symbols. It's got all the symbols. Just love it. She's really. So that's Diana Stein, and yeah, this one's called Essential Reiki: A Complete Guide to an Ancient Healing Art. So if you're not attuned to Reiki, this isn't going to help you. But if you are attuned to Reiki, then this book, and Usui Reiki, then this book I find is a really useful go-to. Just like when I'm preparing handouts, I usually will photocopy some of the pages. And it's just really helpful, and I do recommend it as well to my Reiki students as well, so that they can go and have a look at it. Morning, Maria. Hope you're well. So yeah, have a look at that one if you are Reiki attuned and looking for a little bit more information. It's a really good read. Obviously, if you're not attuned to Reiki and you want to, then drop me a message and I can help you out there. Let me go. So this book I picked. This is still in the pile. This is one that's on the list of potential ones to talk about next week. No, 1st of June. I think we're going to do that. We might move it to the Friday of that. But Ask and It Is Given by Esther Hicks. So she channels Abraham. If you've not followed her at all, again, it's a really nice to read. Really good law of attraction. Interesting book. And I would say it's one of the sort of base readings of spiritual work. That's how highly I would rate this as one of the books that's, if you're interested in spiritual work, connections, law of attraction, and all good things like that, then this book is a good starting point. And again, I've got all her other, well, not got all her other books, but I've got a lot of the other books like The Vortex, and I've actually bought those with CDs in them. So I can actually listen to them. Well, I could if I had a CD player on my laptop, so that's something else I need to sort out. So yes, you can look at, you don't have to just read the books, is what I'm saying, is you can absorb them through, you'll find if you go on YouTube, you'll probably find somebody reading extracts of this book, if not Esther herself reading extracts. You'll be able to go on Audible and listen to them. So however you like to absorb your information, or however you are able to with your time, because again, if you're doing the washing up or tidying the house, you could have something, have a podcast or have some information coming through that way, so you're not having to find a separate time for sit down and reading. So where are we? Oh, and this is another book that I like. It's a new book by Carl Gray called Angel Numbers. Now this book I have, well, again, Doreen Virtue bought one out probably about 10 years ago, and that was Angel Numbers, and again, it's used a lot. It will go to all my women's circles because, again, if people get numbers, it's a quick way to be able to look up what the numbers actually mean. And lovely Carl Gray has redone it because, again, the Doreen Virtue ones are out of print and unavailable. So this one has all the numbers up to 999. So if anyone's got an angel number that keeps coming up for them, pop it in the comments and I will have a quick look for you. So it goes all the way up to 999 with a little message, and it also tells you about things like time. So if you always see 1616 on the clock, 1818 and things like that, or if you always, it's got the clock numbers with the double numbers, what they mean. It's got if you see 1111, what that means. And there was another one. It tells tell you how to build up the numbers. So 4-digit numbers as well. So that is a really good one. It's a handy book to have if you do see numbers and start recognising them. Then to look up what they mean. So Maria says 444. Let's have a look. It says, you are surrounded by 100,000 angels. Miracles are happening before your eyes. That is what 444 means. And what you might find is a lot of a lot of spiritual teachers, mentors will use these numbers for their course fees. So you'll very often see fees being 111, for example, or 444. So let's have a look. So 111 is, you are one with all that is. Know that all you are doing and giving is for the world and all the beings in it. So that's that one. And 101 is, God is within and is listening closely to all of your prayers and intentions. So it's a handy book to have a quick look up and see what the numbers are. So you might see them on clocks, it might be phone numbers, it might be registration numbers. For me, 1352 was always the number that would come up, which is awkward because it's 4 digits. But it used to be an area code going back where I worked a while ago, a long time ago. And also I would see it when I looked at the clock, it would always be 1352, not 53, not 51, it would be 1352. And I still get it now that at certain times when I look at the clock, it'll be 1352. So that's a specific message for me. Maria says, that's amazing. It's part of my home phone number too. And keep seeing it at work. Yeah, so there you go. You are surrounded and supported by angels. That is the message. And whenever you see these numbers, that is the reminder of the message. So the message that they hold, that is just reminding you. So every time you see 444, it's just to remind you that you are surrounded by 100,000 angels who are holding you and supporting you. Yeah. That's a really awesome thing to do. So again, angels, we'll perhaps do a live on sort of messages from angels, but you've got obviously the feathers that everyone talks about. You've got numbers, but you've also got lots of other different things that you can be attracted to and hear as part of your message as well. So that's the card Grey. There's probably an app for it that he's got, or Hay House has got. You can probably Google the numbers as well. So if you Google, what does angel number 156 mean, it'll come up, and somebody will have shared some information about it, or you might get a link to the book or Doreen's book. So that's another really good go-to books. Like I say, some of the books there I will take to all my women's circles, because they're just handy that if somebody gets something right there, they can have a quick look and reference it and get the message and feel it. So what else have we got? I don't want to go too much into other books that I've got that because I did a separate video for the books that I'm suggesting we look at. One of them later in the month, so beginning of June. There's about 8 books, so I don't really want to go into all of those. But if any of you have got any books that you want to share, anything that's really inspired you, let me know. Come and share in the group. I'm trying to think of other ones. I think the Celestine Prophecy was one of the first books, again, that I probably got into around the time that I sort of started my Reiki journey. That's a really interesting story. And I think it's on like book 12 or something now. So that's quite an interesting one. I'm trying to think what else I've got I've got a lot of Doreen Virtue's early books I bought because they really resonated with me at the time where I was, because she was like the angel lady. Diana Cooper is an amazing author on angels, Atlantis, and orbs, unicorns, dragons, and she has really stepped up. She's highly visible now on Facebook and social media and YouTube. So since the lockdown started, she did 28 days of connecting with angels and spirit journeys and well, spirit journeys, because she really is about angels. And then for the last, she's on about like day 16 at the moment of meeting different archangels and ascended masters. So definitely go and have a look at Diana Cooper. Subscribe. Her videos that she's doing, they are 10 minutes long. So didn't do it this morning because I was late getting up. But normally, every morning, I will do a 10-minute Diana Cooper meditation. Whatever her last one was, I would do, or if I'm still catching up a bit on some of the older ones. And they are really awesome. She can be quite complicated sometimes. That she'll go off do planetary stuff, and that can be a little bit tricky. But yeah, she's a really good, worth looking at. Follow her on YouTube so you just get alerts from her. Her newsletters are very good as well. Yeah, and her books are well written and easy to read. The Atlantis one, that was probably about 10 years old, maybe a little older. So I think it was about 2012. That was a very good book, and had a really good meditation in there as well. So it's worth looking up the authors on things like YouTube and just seeing what they've got on there, because very often they will have them doing an audio of the book, or they'll have them discussing the book, or they'll have a lot of meditations that, a meditation in a book means you've got to read it, either record it yourself and listen to it, or read it and just hope that when you do it, it's there. But obviously when you listen to it, you can just go straight in. So Diana Cooper is definitely one of my favourites. So this is one, I'm not, because I don't really want to go into all the books that I did a video yesterday, but this one is the Archangel Guide to Ascension by Diana Cooper and Tim Wilde. It's brand new. I think I bought it at the Hay House conference back in sort of October last year. So I haven't read it, but I want to read it. But I've got about 4 books on the go at the moment, so I'm trying not to start any new books until I've actually finished a couple of the ones that I'm reading, and that's what I need to prioritise for myself in those quiet times, is sitting and reading and doing any actions in the books, because I quite like it when they tell you have a go at doing this, and you can get a bit that bit of that interaction there. So I've no idea what the time is. I've been talking for quite a while, I think. So if you have any spiritual books that you want to share, please pop them in the comments, and we can have a look at the future. Next Friday, we are going to do a book club chat around law of attraction. So any books that and it's not just books, but it could be books, it could be the authors, it could be people that you follow on social media or YouTube. You don't have to have read the books. It's just sharing connections around law of attraction and sharing interests and wonder around law of attraction, like what's worked for you, what hasn't worked for you. I'm just debating at the moment whether we do that through Zoom, because I think Zoom would be good, because we can have more interaction. So rather than just me talking and reading your messages, we can all do talky. So yeah, if you've got any thoughts on that, whether you'd prefer Zoom or whether Zoom complicates it and you'd rather just do it through Facebook and be able to type in, that's fine. I think there might be the ability to invite people on, but I might have to investigate that separately. So I'm going to go and get myself a cup of tea and some breakfast. Like I said, I was late getting up this morning, so I haven't had my breakfast yet. Look after yourselves and your energies, and I shall look forward to seeing you all tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. And I think we'll be doing just a little meditation tomorrow as well, alongside the card of the day. So I shall see you all soon. Bye bye.